So friends, in continuation of our non-specific examination of sensory system, now we will do the proprioceptive sensation, and the other name, or in simpler terms it is known as the joint position sense, which means the patient should be able to tell two things. One is, if at rest the patient is having a joint in some position, he should be able to tell that my joint is in flexion or my joint is in extension. So like I have drawn here the elbow flexion, so the patient should be able to tell. So number one, at rest the patient should be able to feel that where the different segments of proximal and distal segments of his joints are, and whether the joint is in a neutral position or the joint is in flexion position, where actually is it. Number two, when you are moving the joint, now that was a static position and now you are moving the joint. So now when you are moving the joint, suppose you are taking the two parts apart or you are taking the two parts closer, so the patient should be able to tell you this movement, that you are moving my finger out, or you are moving my hand out, or you are moving my hand in, or you are moving my finger in. So these two things are sensed and refer to the joint position sense or the proprioceptive sensation. Now clinically it has been found that when you want to do the joint position test, we should start with the most distal joints first. It comes later, it is apparent in later joints after it has established itself in the distal joints. So अगर आप किसी patient में देख रहे तो पहले आप distally देखें, and in the distal also the third and fourth digit, तीसरी और पांचवी उंगली या toe, is the best possible place to start some joint movement and to see the proprioceptive dysfunction. If there is a dysfunction, if there is a problem you can see in these digits or in the distal joints, then you can move up towards the proximal joints. Like when you have done for the hand, you can do it for the wrist or you can do it for the elbow, and you can mark that up till which level you have joint position sense lost or affected. But if you find your distal joints are normal, there is a very rare possibility that you are going to get any less sensation or any affected sensation in the proximal joints. So though it cannot be a rule, but clinically it is found, and this is a very important tip that we all can practice in the clinical examination, that we should start with the distal one, and in the distal one also if we start with the third and fourth digits of either upper limb or lower limb. So that is about the area to be tested first, and how do you progress from one joint to other joint. Now let's say you are doing it for the hands, so tactile sensation should not be elicited. As I have always emphasized, that when you are testing one sensation, it should be one sensation only, it should not be the other sensation. And when you are touching, you can give some cues about up or down, or you can give some cues about something. So I will try to make it more clear by this. Suppose you make the fist of the patient. The patient has made fist. This is the hand, and the patient has made fist. This is the hand of the patient, and this is the fist. This is your, let's say, thumb, right? And these are the fingers. Now when all these fingers are bent, you take one finger, maybe the third finger or the fourth finger straight. तो आपने पेशेंट की मुट्ठी बनवा ली है, उसमें से you will take out only one finger that you are testing. Normally it is third or fourth, as we have already done, and the rest of the hand is in fist form. So what I mean to say is that we have to separate the finger to be tested from its other fingers or the neighboring fingers. So that is here, that it should be separated from its mates, so that there is no tactile clue given, there is no relation known to the patient कि मेरी बाकी फिंगर्स कहाँ हैं, क्योंकि वो उससे अंदाज़ा लगा सकता है. तो आप इस तरीके से आप उसको हाथ को कहते हैं आप मुट्ठी बना लें, और सिर्फ एक फिंगर आप उसकी खोल लेते हैं. Now I will just elaborate this finger because the diagram will be slightly more complicated. So suppose you have this finger straight of the patient, right? This is the nail, this is going to be your PIP joint, this is going to be, sorry, this is your DIP joint, and this is your PIP joint, and you have the fist and the other thing as like. So this finger I have drawn in a larger manner. Now with the therapist or the tester will, suppose you want to test the joint proprioception. So if you want to test this DIP joint position sensation, the therapist will grasp this phalanx, and with your thumb and index finger on the both lateral sides of this phalanx, you will try to grasp this phalanx. आप उंगली का ये हिस्सा पकड़ लेंगे साइड से, ऊपर से या नीचे से नहीं पकड़ना है, साइड से you will try to grasp. Now this is the therapist's thumb, you can say this is the therapist's thumb, and on the other side you will have the therapist's finger, and you are grasping from the lateral side, from the lateral surfaces, this digit and this phalanx. And again this phalanx therapist will hold from his other hand. Again here it is thumb of the therapist, and here on the other lateral side, you will have the finger of the therapist. So you can imagine, I think now this is the finger, this is the finger, and these are the lateral aspects. So you pick it, you grasp it from here, and you grasp it from the other side. So now from this hand you will try to move the DIP joint in and out. You will try to move the joint in and out. I hope I could make you understand this complete effort of testing. So when you move it up and down, obviously the patient's eyes remains closed. When you start gripping and grasping this whole complete finger, before that you ask the patient to grasp the to close his eyes, and you ask the patient to make fist. From that fist you take out one finger out straight, and now you grip it from the lateral sides from both of your hands, and the joint is free here, the joint is here, you can see the joint is just in between your gripping. This is the joint area, If I make it more clear, I think this is the joint area. So now you will move it, and you will move it in and out, and the patient will tell you up or down. So if the patient can tell this grossly, you can say that this is done, and you know that the patient has a joint position sense normal, or patient has joint position sense unaffected. Now we will see the threshold of the movement. Now what is threshold of movement? How much movement is required by the patient to tell you that you are moving it in or out. Suppose you do it just for 1 degree in, or 5 degree in. Now in all these possibilities, how and when patient says yes in. So if at 10 degrees he says in, but at 5 degrees he is not able to tell you, or at 1 degree he is not able to tell you. So you will find a degree, let's say 7 degree. Less than that, patient is not able to tell you whether you are moving it in or out, and more than 7 degree movement, more than 7 degree of excursion of the joint, the patient is able to tell you that yes, I can feel you are moving my finger in and out. So this 7 degree will be the threshold of movement, because this is the movement required to sense the joint position. So first is you see whether the patient is able to tell you yes or no. Now when the patient is able to tell you yes or no, now you will see how much movement is required. Obviously throughout this test the eyes of the patient are closed. Now you see that if the patient is able to tell you the movement is in or out, but beyond a particular arc or beyond a particular degree, the patient is not able to tell, he is confused. So you need to identify that particular angle, and if that angle is 7 degree, if the angle is 10 degree, if the angle is 2 degree, that is going to be the threshold of movement for perception of proprioception. So you start with very small movements and then you try to increase the movement and you see where patient actually reports you. So if you know this is the finger now, you do it very small, then you do it large, then you do it more large, and you will see when patient starts telling you in out in out in out. अगर शुरू में ही वो बता देता है इन आउट मतलब कि वो 1-2 डिग्री को भी रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है, अगर वो बाद में बताता है तो मतलब कि वो 15-20 डिग्री को रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है। फिर जब वो आप देखते हो 1-2 डिग्री को रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहा है तो फिर आप धीरे धीरे कहीं एडजस्ट करने की कोशिश करते हो वैल्यू को कि क्या ये 7 डिग्री पर रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है, क्या ये 10 डिग्री पर रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है, क्या ये 4 डिग्री पर रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है, या क्या ये 15 डिग्री पर रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहा है। जिस वैल्यू पे आपको लगता है पेशेंट आपको इन आउट बता पा रहा है, दैट एंगल बिकम्स द थ्रेशोल्ड ऑफ मूवमेंट टू सेंस द जॉइंट पोजीशन सेंस और टू सेंस द प्रोप्रायोसेप्शन. Now, if the digit or if the finger is having intact joint position sensation, the patient should be able to tell you even 1 to 2 degrees of the movement, which means fingers are highly sensitive for joint position sensations, and a movement of a single degree, and you know some texts say that even the smaller than 1 degree movements can be reported by the patient. Patient normally 1 डिग्री या उससे कम डिग्री को भी बता देता है कि आप मेरी उंगली को अंदर ले जाने की कोशिश कर रहे हो या बाहर ले जाने की. So this is the sensitivity of these joints. So if you find that patient is able to tell you 1 to 2 degree movement, or you say that the threshold of movement for proprioception is 1 to 2 degree, then the proprioception is intact. If it is more, you can say that proprioception is affected. If the patient is not able to tell you at all whether you're moving in or out, so then you say that the sensation is lost. Now one more thing, when you are in the middle of the joint, which is like this, let's say this is the joint in the middle, this proprioception is lesser, and it is more when the limb is straight. So when the finger is straight, the 1 degree will be felt. Maybe in the middle 5 degree will be felt, but 1 degree will not be felt. So the joint position sense in middle is poorer in initial stages. It is the best. So that is one more clinical information you need to carry with yourself. Now when you think that a patient cannot be tested on these simple tests because they require a lot of clinical cooperation, so maybe because of pain or because of some injury you cannot hold the patient's finger, or the patient is skeptical, he is not allowing you to hold, or the patient is a kid, so the exact technique cannot be done. So in a game manner, in a kids play manner, or with the patient, you just say that you have a table in front of you and you have 2 hands of the person. So you position one hand of the person in any position that you want, any position of the hand, and you ask the patient to repeat the same position of hand with the other side which you want to. So the patient will make the same position with the other hand. So the green one is set by you and the red one is, so now you can see the joint position sense of both the areas, and the patient is having this test again with the closed eyes. So बंद आंखों में आपने उसके हाथ को मान लो मुट्ठी बना के, या मुट्ठी बना के एक उंगली खोल के, या एक उंगली पूरी खोल के एक उंगली आधी खोल के, कैसे भी टेढ़ा मेढ़ा करके आप हाथ को रख दें. अब क्या होगा इसमें, जो भी आपने किया, आंखें तो बंद है पेशेंट की, तो इसको वो कैसे जॉइंट पोजीशन सेंस से सेंस करेगा और फिर इस चीज को यहाँ पर रेप्लिकेट करेगा. जो पोजीशन हाथ की यहाँ है उसी पोजीशन को यहाँ बनाने की कोशिश करेगा. तो बच्चों को आप बोलो कि जैसे गेम बना दो कि बेटा मैं तेरा एक हाथ जो है ना ऐसे रख दूंगा, जैसे मैंने हाथ रखा है ना दूसरा हाथ भी वैसे ही बनाना है तुमको. तो अगर आपने पूरी मुट्ठी बना दी तो पूरी मुट्ठी बनाएगा, अंगूठा खोल दिया, एक उंगली खोल दी तो वैसे करेगा. सो in a very interesting manner you can ask the patient to do this, and if the patient can do this, you can again test the joint position test. But though it is a gross test, it is not that specific because the angles and the small degrees cannot be done, but this is a test alternatively you can do. Same way for the feet, they say that you move foot of the person. Let's say this is the person is sitting and this is the feet of the person. So you move foot in any direction. Let's say आपने इसको पकड़ के पैर को ऐसे टेढ़ा मेढ़ा घुमा दिया, and with the other toe, with the other foot's toe, he will try to locate and tell you that okay आपने मेरा पैर ऐसे घुमाया. So this is also a test for the joint position sensation. So by all these small alternatives you can also do. Then there is a test also. If you ask the patient to stand with feet very close, if you ask your patient to stand with feet very closely placed and the eyes are also closed, you will find that the patient will sway very severely. Patient बहुत जोर जोर के झूलने लग जाएगा ऐसे ऐसे. So this is again a test which says that this is going to be your joint position sense diminished. Now one more thing you need to understand, that if the patient sways with both eyes open and closed, अगर आंखें खुली हो बंद हो, doesn't matter, the patient is swaying, then it is a cerebellar disease because he is not able to balance at all. But if the patient has only joint position sense gone, so if he is having eyes open, he will sway lesser or he will not sway because with the vision he will try to compensate. तो अगर सिर्फ प्रोप्राइसेप्शन की प्रॉब्लम है तो अगर खुली आंखें हैं तो स्वेइंग नहीं होगी, बंद आंखों में स्वेइंग होगी. लेकिन अगर सेरेब्रल रीजन की प्रॉब्लम है तो कुछ भी कर लें, अगर पैर पास में रखें तो स्वेइंग होगी. सो दिस इज अगेन अ टेस्ट विच टेल्स यू that whether the patient has some joint position problem. So these are the gross tests. So once you do the gross test and you find that there is some problem, or maybe the patient himself can tell that अगर मैं पैरों को बहुत पास के खड़ा होता हूँ तो मेरा बैलेंस बिगड़ता है, तो this is a sign that he is having some joint perception problem, and then you can go for these kind of larger tests. So this is all about your joint position sensation or proprioception. And now we move to the second testing, and that is a vibration sensation or vibratory sense. So for this also the rule is that you start with the more distal joint first, and in the distal joints also you can start with the third or fourth digit, where you are likely to have positive results if at all there is some affection of this sensation. And the tuning fork that you will take will be of 128 Hz rather than the higher 164 or the lesser the lesser 164 and the higher one 256 Hz tuning forks. So clinically it is found better because the patient provides a clearer information with this frequency. So you take this 128 Hz. You all know the make or the structure of a tuning fork. So this is the tuning fork, and as you can see here, the grip remains almost similar as you were doing for the proprioception. You can see that this is the digit which is to be examined, and the therapist is holding it from the lateral surfaces. साइड से पकड़ रखा है, देखो इधर से साइड से पकड़ रखा है और इधर से साइड से पकड़ रखा है. And then you put up the tuning fork on the bone or on the digit that you want to test. So here we are testing the distal phalanx. So we are putting it just the base of the tuning fork is touched at the distal phalanx, dorsum of the distal phalanx, just around the nail bed. So this is the technique. Now one thing that you must understand is that this is not a test which is done in one go. So if this is the digit you are testing, and if this is a tuning fork you have kept on this digit, so the test is a timed vibratory test. It's not a test of yes or no. It's not a test like I'm feeling, I'm not feeling. It's a test that I'm feeling and now I'm not feeling, which means the test will start and the test will end, and you have to note down the time on a stopwatch. So when you touch this on the part, the patient will say yes, or you start your stopwatch when you touch this part, and when the patient says no, then you stop your stopwatch and you measure the time which is taken by the patient. And if he says no, after some time, which means because the first yes was only touch, that was not vibration. देखो आपने एक ट्यूनिंग फॉर्क को टच किया है तो ऑटोमेटिकली अगर आप वो yes ही बोलेगा, अब उसको वाइब्रेशन आए या नहीं आए, लेकिन अगर उसके थोड़ी देर बाद वो नो बोलता है तो अब तो टच तो किया ही हुआ था, तो अब अगर वो नो बोल रहा है तो मतलब वाइब्रेशन आनी बंद हो गई है। तो वाइब्रेशन आनी जब बंद हो गई तो उसने कहा नो। So the no is more important than yes, because yes can tell you the touch also, the pressure also, or the temperature also, because as I said tuning fork can be slightly colder or hotter, so maybe the touch can be felt by many means. बट अगर वो टच के बाद थोड़ी देर बाद बोलता है मान लीजिए नो, तो इसका मतलब अब क्या चीज़ चली गई, क्योंकि ट्यूनिंग फॉर्क तो अभी टच कर रखा है आपने, तो नो किस चीज़ को बोल रहा है, नो बोल रहा है वो वाइब्रेशन को। सो दिस इज एन यू कैन से रिवर्स टेस्ट। Here the vibration coming is not reported. Here the vibration gone will be reported. And when the vibration gone will be reported, automatically it means that he can sense the vibration. अगर vibration आने को पहचान सकता है तो भी vibration पहचान सकता है, vibration जाने को पहचान सकता है तो भी vibration पहचान सकता है. So it is basically a timed vibratory test. It is not a test when you touch it and he says yes. So when he says yes just on touch, this is the wrong faulty technique of testing the vibratory sensation, because as I said that the vibratory sensation is felt as long as the vibrations are there in the tuning fork. Alternatively, अगर आपके स्टॉप वॉच नहीं है, you can put one digit under this finger. The therapist can put one digit under this finger and he can also feel this vibration. So if he also feels that when the patient says no तभी vibration लगभग गई है, तो he is more sure that yes the patient is feeling the vibration. तो patient भी अपनी उंगली साथ में टच कर सकता है जिससे कि उसको पता लगेगा कि वाइब्रेशन कब गई और कब आई, और अगर मरीज भी तभी बोलता है तब गई और तब आई, तो इसका मतलब पेशेंट की वाइब्रेशन सेंस नॉर्मल है। सो द की टेक अवे एम्फेसाइज्ड पॉइंट इज दैट it is not a test which is done in one go only. It is a test which is lapsing in time. There is a time elapsed between this test and you have to measure it on a stopwatch. And the patient saying no, the patient saying that he is not feeling any vibration is more important than saying yes, because yes will always be there because you have touched the tuning fork. So the touch is there, the pressure is there, and the temperature change is also there. So that is the most important tip I would like to say. And the patient can say yes, or he can say buzzing, or he can say some kind of electricity or some kind of tingling. These are the different expressions in which patient can report that this feeling or this sensation is felt. So and as I said that the total time elapsed is to be noted, and if you cannot note this time, then you should have your own digit, or the therapist should have his own digit touching the same phalanx, but on the either side, directly not touching the tuning fork. अगर पेशेंट की फिंगर यहाँ पर है, आपने ट्यूनिंग फॉर्क यहाँ लगाया है, तो आप अपनी फिंगर यहाँ रखिए नीचे. This is your finger. So if the vibration is felt and if the vibration is lost, at the same time almost you will also feel that the vibration is lost. So then you are sure and then you are clear that yes, the patient is able to find out the vibration. So this was again a very simple test, and this is done. And when you would want to do it with more precision, you can have highly specialized equipments also that are electronically managed. So that is something not done in routine clinical practice. That is done in laboratories when you actually want to see in a precise manner the vibrations and the different frequencies and the different areas that are affected. So but clinically we do a very gross test, and that is this tuning fork timed vibratory test. That is the name, timed vibratory test. Now we'll do for the higher cortical functions, where lot of I should say summing up will be there for different sensations, and then a final sensation will be accomplished. So one is graphesthesia in that. First is stereognosis. I'm sorry. So stereognosis, as you know, that if you give a person a pen or a key or a comb or anything, any object or a duster, or a paperweight, anything. So with the eyes closed, patient should be able to describe and identify that object. So if the patient can do that, the stereognosis, which is a higher cortical perception, is fine. And if the patient is not able to do it, then there is no sensation, or there is diminished sensation of stereognosis. And we should take 2-3 things into consideration here when you are testing this. First of all, that object should not be there in front of the patient before the eyes are closed, which means अगर patient ने पहले देख लिया कि सामने duster रखा है, या सामने पेपर वेट रखा है, या सामने पेन रखा है, तो maybe he will be able to guess. So there should not be any guess. There should be sensation based response. वो feel करे और बताए. So अगर आपने उसके सामने कोई चीज रखी हुई है तो उसी को मत पकड़ाइए, आप उनको कहो आप आंखें बंद कर दीजिए. Then you give something from your pocket, maybe a coin or a sharpener or a rubber. So with the feel, with the 2-point description, with the temperature, with the pressure, with all these fine sensations, they are given to the brain in the cortex. All these sensations combine to make a higher sensation, and that is stereognosis. So he will feel that, okay, you have given me a rubber, or you have given me a sharpener, or in one hand you give him pencil, or in other hand you give him pen, and he should be able to tell that, and in my right hand you have a pen, I have a pencil, and on my left hand I have a pen. So if he can make all these perceptions, then his stereognosis is fine. Then you can use a dull pen or a blunt pencil or a blunt object to make some letters, or to make some figures, or to make some numbers on any part of the patient's skin, maybe the hand or any part that you want to test. So you draw any figure. If the patient is literate, you can draw letters like A or B or C. If the patient is unliterate, you draw a line, or you draw a zigzag line, or you draw a cross, and you ask the patient to tell you that what figure or what number or what letter have you drawn. So if the patient is again able to tell you that you have crossed, you have put a cross on my forearm, or you have drawn a letter A on my dorsum of palm, or you have moved zigzag line on my thigh. So if the patient can tell all these things, it's clear that he has the graphesthesia sensation normal. But if the patient is not able to tell, it is a clear sign that either the sensation is diminished or the sensation is lost. Now, if you have all those prior sensations already affected, like the tactile sensation or temperature sensation or vibration sensation or pressure sensation, then obviously all these higher sensations will be affected. तो अगर पहले sensation में ही गड़बड़ आ चुकी है, तो you can expect along the same lines you will have problem in the higher order perceptions, because they are summated and they are perceived by a lot of interactions between all these basic sensations at the level of the cerebral cortex. Then you do the 2-point discrimination test, which is done by some bent paper clip, or you make a simple squeeze of a paper like this, and you make again here also. So now you have 2 points, and you ask the patient to tell you that you have touched it at 2 points, or at 1 point, at 2 points, or at 1 point. And the clinical progression is you start from a farther point. So if suppose this is the area, you start from here and here. He will say yes 2, right? And then you do 1 only. He will say 1. Now again you have done 2. He will say 2. Now you do 1. He will say 1. So when he says 2, you know that now, okay, he has 2-point discrimination. Now you bring it closer. So now you do it here. 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. So like that. So now you become, you make the points closer and closer and closer. So you have to make them as close as in millimeters. And there are clinically found values that a normal skin should be able to distinguish or discriminate. So 2-point discrimination is well done for tongue from a distance of 1 millimeter, which means 2 point अगर आप 1 millimeter दूर पर भी touch करते हैं, तो patient should be able to tell you 2, not 1. If he says 1 for this, you know that it is not a 2-point discrimination. So for the tongue, the tissue is so sensitive that even the 1 millimeter distance should be reported. For the fingertip, it can be 2 to 4 millimeter. And on the upper side of finger, the dorsum of finger, it should 4 to 6 millimeter, which means it is slightly lesser at the upper side, but lower side is better. So if this is your finger, this is the lower side and this is the dorsal side. So here you will find 2 points, and at the lower side also you will find the 2 points, but at the lower side closer 2 points can also be reported, which is 2 to 4, and on the dorsum you have the 4 to 6. So these are the different values, and obviously as I said, आप दूर से start करेंगे, you start from the distance and then you make it closer and closer, and you can see for the palm and from the dorsum and for all those things. Then the last is topognosis. This is again, you can ask the patient or describe the part that you are touching. So that means this time he is not locating, he will just tell you. So अगर आप tactile test में इसको जोड़ सकते हो, अगर आप सर पर छू रहे हो and if he says you have touched my forehead or you have touched my thigh, and if he is right that topognosis is fine, which means he understands his body parts and where are they placed. So if you touch a body part and he says that yes you have touched, again you are doing it with whisk. ध्यान रहे आप whisk से कर रहे हैं, ये आपका मान लीजिए शोल्डर है, right? This is the shoulder. So if you do it with cotton, whisk, touch, go. Remember, touch, go, touch, go. So if you do it touch, go, and he is able to tell you yes, touch, go, number 1. Number 2, shoulder. So the topognosis is fine. If you do it for forehead, touch, go at the forehead. So if he says yes when you touch it, so tactile sensation is fine. And if he says forehead, his topognosis is also fine. तो अगर वो अपने बॉडी पार्ट्स को समझता है आंख बंद करके भी और बता सकता है कि आपने मेरा कंधा छुआ है, या आपने मेरा बैक छुआ है, या आपने मेरा नेवल एरिया छुआ है, या आपने मेरा नी जॉइंट छुआ है, तो टोपोग्नोसिस इज आल्सो फाइन. डबल पॉइंट simultaneous simulation we have already done with the tactile one. So this was all about the different sensations that can be tested. The basic sensations, then some higher sensations, and then the cortical sensations like stereognosis, topognosis, graphesthesia, etc. So this completes your sensory examination testing. Thank you.